Okay, shall we just go ahead and start? I think. It's already 2 minutes after 12. So anyway, thank you so much everyone for joining. I'm Tiffany Sprague. I'm the coordinator of the UNDP STEM for All platform, and I work with the gender team at the Istanbul Regional Hub. And I'm going to be co-moderating today's event along with my colleague Umatai Dalatova. I just want to let everyone know that I'm also recording this, this event. So hopefully that's okay with everybody. I want to first wish everyone a happy International Women's Day, and thank you so much for spending part of your day, your busy day with us to attend our event. Our event called Women in STEM Leading Climate Action in Europe and Central Asia. So if you'd like to, please write in the chat who you are, where you're from. We want to know where you're logging in from. We have an exciting 90 minutes ahead of us, and we have, and I have our UNDP country offices and UNDP colleagues to thank for helping us to put this together and making this all happen. Okay, so we still have some people coming in. This is great. So the theme for this year's International Women's Day is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. Climate change disproportionately affects women. They make up the majority of the world's poor. They are more dependent for their livelihoods and natural resources, most threatened by climate change. Women and girls often cannot regain the jobs and opportunities lost in climate or disaster events. The UNDP and Central Asia region is one of the most carbon-intensive areas of the world, with 88% of its primary energy supply coming from fossil fuels, which contributes to air pollution. The clean and green transition to a sustainable future will be powered by jobs in the STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math fields. Gender equality in STEM is therefore key to ensuring a just transition. However, women only make up 40% of researchers in Europe and Central Asia, and are far fewer than men in emerging technology and engineering sectors. Women-led tech companies and startups receive only 2% of investment capital worldwide. Women are equally scarce in environmental protection ministries, where their presence is among the lowest of the 20 policy areas examined. It averages 33% globally. In parity in decision-making and environmental protection is rare, potentially hampering more effective climate action and a green recovery. So today's International Women's Day theme aligns really well with UNDP's STEM for All platform goals, which includes, we want to provide a space to share knowledge, raise awareness, and break gender stereotypes in STEM fields. Today, we're going to shine the spotlight on 4 women from our region who lead in STEM fields, who despite gender barriers, lead, innovate, and execute solutions to address the negative impacts on climate change. They're going to take us through their work in water management, sustainable composite materials, wildlife conservation, and solar technologies. We'll also get their insights on how society, government, private sector, educators can work together to advance climate action, as well as their practical advice on pursuing STEM careers, especially in sustainability and climate. So just to give you a rundown of how this event is going to go, this is going to be a panel format, although we're really going for a casual dialogue environment. We've prepared a few questions. Each speaker will be asked the same question and have a chance to react to one another. And at the end of this event, we've set aside around 15 minutes to open the floor to all of you for Q&A. But as we go along, please feel free to put your questions and your comments in the chat. And my colleague Umatai is going to be monitoring and will help present and collate all the questions at the end and present them during the Q&A session. So before we jump in, I just want to do a really quick poll, and hopefully I can do this. We want to know who's here, what your profile is, where you're working. So I'm going to just launch this quick poll. If you all can just quickly let me know where you currently work, just to get a sense of the types of people joining our events. Okay, great. Thank you all. So looks like today we've got about mostly people from international organizations and intergovernmental. Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, so without further ado, let's just get to the most exciting part of the event, and that's meeting our speakers. I'm going to give each of the speakers about 4 minutes or so to introduce themselves, what their role is, their technology, and about their company, where they're from. And I will hand it over to Samita.
Hello, everybody. Tiffany, could you please share my presentation?
Yes, I can. So, can you see it okay?
Yes, just go to the first slide, please.
Okay.
Do the full screen, Tiffany.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, hello, everybody. First of all, let me tell you that it's my great pleasure to have an opportunity to be a part of this event. My name is Senida Jaitragei. I am a civil engineer with a master's degree in hydraulic and environmental engineering. I come from Bosnia and Herzegovina. At the moment, I work as a researcher for Hydro Engineering Institute in Sarajevo and as a project manager for H2I Balkans. In H2I Balkans, we say that it's a place where research meets reality. Can you do next slide, Tiffany, please? Now, let me tell you what we are doing in H2I Balkans. First of all, I'm going to give you some background information. So historically, Bosnia and Herzegovina have experienced numerous weather events, and the most frequent ones are floods. In devastating floods that we had back in 2014, 21 people died, thousands of people were evacuated, 44,000 of people were without electricity, water sources were polluted, and approximate damage was over 2 billion euros. Next slide. So the problem that Bosnia and Herzegovina is facing is the lack of flood forecasting systems. And as you can see here, according to the UNDP, over 900,000 inhabitants of Bosnia and Herzegovina are exposed to flood risk. Also, destroyed hydrometeorological network is a problem. Because according to the Federal Hydrometeorological Institute, before war in Bosnia, there were about 500 well-functioning rainfall stations, while now only less than 100 remain operational. Another problem that Bosnia and Herzegovina is facing are so-called torrential floods, that are actually floods that occur after short-term heavy rainfall, or heavy rainfall with extended duration and snow melt. Next one. So at H2I Balkans, we are trying to find solutions for these problems. One of our first pilot projects that we have implemented with our partners from Czech Republic with the help of Czech UNDP partnership funds is the local early flood warning system in Rečina Basin. What's characteristic for this area is that it's karst area. And as you can see on this picture on the top, the riverbed is completely dry during the summer, and the karst area has lots of underground reservoirs, which means that sometimes it can be raining for days and there won't be any floods. And sometimes when underground reservoirs are full, if it rains only for short period of time, a flood can occur and the water level is rising fast. Another project that we have been working on with the help of funds by the Boost Acceleration Program is flood forecasting using remotely sensed data. Here we are using remote sensing to acquire Earth observation data, computer vision to process these data, and machine learning to develop models in order to relate meteorological and other Earth observation data with flooding. The last project that we are developing, or idea that we are developing, is the participation quantification using videos and artificial intelligence. So the main idea is economical measurement of precipitation through the analysis of videos from CCTV cameras and smartphones, which is based on computer vision and artificial intelligence. This can help with the accurate flood warnings, improve road safety, and better crop management. Next one, please. So here I've connected our projects and ideas to some of the SDGs. So through our project, we are transferring knowledge to the employees of local communities, water agencies, hydrometeorological institutes, and other interested parties that falls under the SDG 4, quality of education. Also, we are supporting domestic technology development, research, and innovation that falls under SDG 9. Also, through our project, inhabitants in pilot areas are safer from floods, and we are making a tool for creating policies and strategies that fall under the SDG 13 climate action. And also we are improving, helping in improve flood management and flood forecasting. Next. So that would be it. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, you have my email here, and I will be glad to answer them later. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you so much. Really excellent work. And now we will hand the floor over to Virtu Karaja.
Hello, everyone. I'm really honored to be in this platform and within the brilliant woman within this event. Actually, I'm a textile engineering, holding a PhD on technical textiles and composites. I still continue my academic career focused on textile-based composites and sustainability at Ege University in Izmir, Turkey. And also, I'm co-founder at BPREC Composites. Actually, BPREC Composites is an IP-based company focused on only natural fiber-based advanced composite materials. We develop and manufacture lightweight, high-performing, and low eco-impact composites from plant fibers. And what we aim is to reduce the utilization of synthetic materials, which are very producing high CO2 emissions. So BPREC aims to help actually industries to lower their eco-impact with its sustainable composite solutions. And I'm leading the technology and product development at BPREC. And while dealing with sustainable composites from plant fibers, it is impossible to go through agricultural side. So actually, we also established a kind of a R&D cooperative about sustainable agricultural production. Döngü, the name of the cooperative is Döngü Cooperative. And I'm also one of the co-founders at this cooperative. And what we do is we try to support and boost sustainable agricultural production by creating innovative solutions and income models. And actually, one of the main driving, let's say, the driving aim is to strengthen the status of women in the rural area and to convince them about sustainable agricultural products and to convince them that they can play a vital role in climate change via sustainable agricultural solutions. And the main focus of Döngü is nowadays reinitiating the flax farming in Turkey and R&D studies on flax-based sustainable products. And I'm leading the project management and textile-based issues at Döngü Cooperative. And I will be glad to answer your questions in any sustainable agriculture and sustainable composite side.
Thank you, Burcu, for that great introduction. And now we'll hear from Olga Malinkovich. Please.
Hello, everybody. I'm also glad to be here and to share with you a little bit with technology that we are doing. My name is Olga Malinkiewicz, and I'm a Chief Technology Officer and also co-founder of Saule Technologies. This is a startup based in Poland. We exist 6 years already, but we have around 70 people on the board. So we are quite a big startup already. We are based in Poland. However, there's around 15 different countries among our employees. So we are pretty international. We have excellent scientists, physicists, chemists, engineers coming all over the world to help us with our project. And what we are doing, we are working in energy sector with solar cells, with photovoltaics, with energy coming from the sun that you know that we have a lot and all the earth. And what we are doing, we are using a special type of material, and we are like fabricating new generation solar cells. So if you know about like traditional silicon cells, these blue rigid ones on the roofs, we have alternatives. We have this, what I hold in my hand. It's a printed solar cell. It's as efficient as a silicon solar cell, but it's very flexible and thin and can be printed and it's cheap. And it's possible because we are using a new type of material in the cells. We already launched a first small factory in Poland, a pilot factory for the cells to show to the world that this project is commercial and industrial. And right now we have some first pilots and implementations. However, we are right now collecting the funds to build more factories all around the world. And our company right now, as I said, is around 70 people, a lot of scientists and chemists all around the world. We just entered to the we launched first product in the market, and evaluation of our company right now is around 200 million euros. So we are very glad that the technology is progressing and people see the potential in this technology. Well, thanks.
Thank you, Olga, for sharing your story and about your company, and thanks to Eva for sharing in the links more information if you're interested in any of these companies to please dig deeper. And last but not least, we're going to hear from Vera Voronova. Just a quick introduction. Thank you. I think you're on mute.
Okay. Hello to all and happy International Women's Day. My name is Vera Voronova, and I had a master's degree on ecology at the local national university in Kazakhstan. So I started to develop my professional skills from ecological tourism. Then for maybe more than 5 years, I used to work and focus on the issue of the birds' mortality on power lines. And then time had some experience on policy work and how development technologies can improve this issue and mitigate. Since 2015, I'm leading the National Conservation Non-Governmental Organization in Kazakhstan. So being only biodiversity conservation focused organization in such a big country, we have many opportunities and challenges on the same time. So our direction for biodiversity conservation comes from the best available scientific evidence on the status of the species, sites, habitats, and the threats, of course, facing them. So alongside wider prioritized from the level relevant convention as well. So, and as I mentioned, since the area of our study is really huge, like it can be 500,000 of square kilometers sometimes, we have to be very progressive how to use modern technologies. So we do aerial survey by unmanned aerial vehicles. We also use the best approach and methodology by GIS system, and also satellite coloring of animals to study migration is very well developed in Kazakhstan and have a really significant data on the ungulate migration in the country. So thank you very much to invite for this event, and happy also further to share with our experience and how do we work here in Kazakhstan.
Super. Thank you, Vera, for that introduction. Okay, so now we have a great context of all of our speakers, and we're going to launch into the first question that we have. And we know that all of them address different issues within the climate and environment. And we had a question about whether or not, or what your thoughts are about how men and women experience climate change. Do you believe that they experience it differently? And how important are the contributions of women as decision makers, educators, and experts across sectors to successful long-term solutions to climate change? Do you think that women scientists offer different perspectives? And if you do, like, how does this manifest in your own work and your leadership in your own companies? So we would like to take a crack at that question first. Sanita, go for it.
Okay. Well, I think that climate changes and disaster have a huge impact on human security, health, and environment. And I think that it's affecting disproportionately women and girls, and even more so rural women. That's what data are showing as well. Women are facing a greater risk for a number of reasons. For example, unequal access to resources, education, possibility of employment, to some social and cultural norms. Because they care for children and older people, and most time they try to protect them, they are more likely to be victims of natural disasters themselves. And in most cases, they don't know how to swim. I'm saying from this water management and floods management perspective. And women are also poorer than men and often lack of the financial capacity to recover from floods and other things. And I think that women have the knowledge and understanding of what is needed to adapt to these changing environmental conditions and to come up with practical solutions. But they are still not present as much as they should be. As I said, lack of access to financial resources, training and technology, and limited access to political decision making often prevent them from playing a full role in building resilience to climate change and other environmental challenges. I think that it could be helpful that gender analysis is applied to all actions on climate change, and that gender experts are consulted in climate change process at all levels, so that women's and men's specific needs and priorities are identified and addressed. Unleashing the knowledge and capability of women represents an important opportunity to craft effective climate change solutions for the benefit of all of us. It is important to ensure equal space and resources for women and men to participate in climate change decision-making and action at all levels. As valuable members of society, we do deserve to participate equally in public life. Also, policies like gender quotas can support women's career progression in environmental institutions. creating and enforcing laws and policies against gender discrimination, I think, can also help and ensure that climate change spaces are inclusive for all. Also, ensuring access to quality education for girls is a key for gender equality in climate leadership. Climate education for girls, including technical environmental training, can increase their resilience and build their capacity to engage with climate information and lead climate solution. Of course, women and girls are already leading their own solution to the challenges of climate change and gender inequality, but to scale these up, I think that they need access to climate finances, to more financial resources. This also manifests in my own work and company, mostly in a way of insufficient financial support. But despite that, our company has found its place in the market, and we are constantly working on finding innovation solution for the problems that my country and society is facing regarding the water management and climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunita, for your answer on that. Do you face resistance at your company? Maybe if you're trying to, like, is it already built in the gender mainstreaming aspect, like the analysis in your own work at your company, or are you having to advocate for that?
I'm lucky enough that this office of H2I Balkans in Sarajevo is, I mean, all are girls, and in the other company where I work, woman is also director. So we can find our own way to lead change.
Yeah, so it's already part of the strategy, basically.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any of our other speakers want to answer this question?
Tiffany, can I just add a little bit about, I think that Sunita mentioned very, very correctly and rightly that in overall women are really care and more close to the younger generation, the kids and the grandparents. And I think also the positive side of this, that women's role of this knowledge transferring is definitely higher. So because we are really connecting very closely with the both generation of the young and older generations. And also maybe I would quickly share also with their ACBK experience and how we also manifest women and sustainable development here in Kazakhstan. Like, I'm a woman leading this organization, and we have a number of really great women work together in a very collaborative, progressive way, achieving significant results not only in the science but also in the policy and technology development. One of their case that we found was really, really useful, and that's in 2015, so more than 17 years ago, ACBK had a program to develop 5 student clubs in all over the country, like based on the different universities, and provide the training and program and workshop for the students on the early, like first year students, to provide them the workshop and trainings. Even we had a specific like a budget to conduct own projects. And I think to trying to engage not only the boys but the girls on this level when the student is the most efficient approach, because the students, they already like girls, they're already independent from their parents, but they already not engaged, but they are not yet engaged with the family. They still don't have a decision about what would be their further path of their life. And I think this is the like a window of the chance to engage effectively women to the science and to their to the development things. And I also think that women in the science, of course, they can give a different perspective because generally women, they are more collaborative than men. And of course, there are exceptions, and like there are some women that are not really open at all, but in a generally, it's very well known things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point in terms of collaboration, and lots of research coming up about diverse teams and the need for this type of perspectives and collaboration. So thank you for sharing around that. Virtue or Olga, did you have?
Yeah, maybe a small comment, addition to all of what's been said. I think, as I see the role, my role, for example, in this participation, like in the climate change, and going to my colleagues and like trying to convince them how this is important to get the financing for it, because of course we can. There's a lot of people that want to change the climate, but we need to think like how to do it and how to convince people that have all the capital and the budget for it, that is like really beneficial for us, for the next generation. Maybe it's not a short-term goal, it's more like long-term goal, but we need to, like, people who understand how this is important. That would be great if also they can have some possibility to convince and talk to the people to to see some opportunities in this sector, to team up, who have power, who have money, and like as a team, to work as a team, because of course in a team one person will be better in finances, one person will be better in the marketing, and the one person would be kind of a visionary that we should like save the planet. And I think it's really good like to combine all people with different skills to like really throw it the ball and to be really effective, not just stop at talking, but like to go into actions. And I think women have this power of convincing the men, because we are mothers, wives, daughters, and like we know how to do it. Like really, just let's use it in a proper way.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you find that when you're looking for funding, though, is it harder, do you think, for as a woman leader to look for funds or get funding, I should say? Olga.
Is it more difficult for me to find the funding as a woman leader?
Yeah.
No, I think it's even the opposite, because of course, especially in the startups and technologies and the high tech, as you mentioned, there is not so many women, well, less than men. So every woman is more visible, and this visibility also gives you like additional kick. And this is another way how you can use it, right? I'm an exception. I'm here. I'm fighting for the climate, and oh, my dear man, you are so strong and brave and smart, and you have the money, so please help me. And why not? And this is working, and everybody's happy. So I think this strategy is good.
Yeah, I like that. And you have the extra kick. Virtue, you said, looks like you wanted to come in and say something.
Actually, I don't know how to add this really beneficial and very correct commitments from my colleagues, but maybe the only thing that I can add is as women in STEM, in science and technology, or as leaders, or somehow in different positions in different industries, maybe we also need to take care of rural women who doesn't have enough encourage or enough possibilities, or let's say chances to involve in proper education, but who wants to do more than they deserve. So just to give an example, in Turkey, the highest ratio in women working sector is the agricultural industry. But what is the very dramatic thing in this industry is they get paid less than men, even they do the same or more efficient work within the agricultural side. They want to have jobs, or they want to have something to be involved, but as they are more involved in house caring or child caring, they don't have enough time to work in outside, so they don't have their own freedom about economics, about let's say time to take their own courage to do something more. So what we also need to do is maybe to support or to find somehow different income models or ways to give them the chance to have part-time jobs. So it is their reality that they have to take care of their own children or own housekeeping, let's say, and everything about the home. But if we can, as a leader woman in science and technology, if we can create some part-time jobs for the rural women, I guess we will be more, let's say, we will kick off with each other's, you know, because we are all women who can be a model for the little girls or little children. So we need to be powerful, we need to be encouraged, we need to have our own freedom to say anything about economics, politics, or the climate change, or anything going on about the world. But we need to have hands in hands with the women in science and women in rural.
Yeah, excellent. And this manifests in your own work, right, Virtue? I mean, this is what you do as well.
Actually, I was dealing with producing a kind of advanced material from my PhD, and then I converted in a commercial technology. But I just think that why I'm always buying these natural fibers from any other country, that we can also make our own community here to do the agricultural side. But the problem is that from the agricultural side, you don't find an engineer, or you don't find a woman dealing with science within the rural areas. So of course, I would like to have discussions with another textile engineer or another material engineer, but I need to learn how to connect with the agricultural side, with the rural women, and how to make connections between us. So actually, that's how the journey of Döngü started. So we think that also the women in rural feel the climate change inside, because they know the soil, they know the weather, they know what is going on within the nature. They have a kind of feeling coming inside, maybe because of they are women, but they don't know how to deal or how to protect the coming, let's say, signals about climate change. So actually, we try to, let's say, warn them or teach them about what they will be faced with the climate change within the agricultural side, and how they should react before the catastrophic effect of the climate change. And actually, we also convince them that you don't need a man to make any agricultural product. You all know the every information about nature. So just take your own encourage, and if they get paid, and if they have the economical power, then they will be more encouraged to do any job or any scientific or any another industrial, let's say, study. Mm-hmm. So together with BPREG and Döngü Cooperative, we're also trying to convince the woman farmer in agricultural side, in sustainable solutions, in sustainable agriculture. So actually, it's a kind of, let's say, closing the loop. If we convince them about what they can do in agricultural side, then we can also have our raw materials, and so we can have a kind of economical circle, to support together.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. I mean, I think from all the responses that we've gotten from all speakers, it's pretty clear that women do tend to experience climate change differently than men, and that there are unique perspectives that are being shared by women leaders, and that as a testament to the 4 speakers that we're speaking to today. And especially looking into those that are most vulnerable, women in the rural areas, those who need more access to education. And so all the need for more women leaders in STEM, especially in working in climate change. So in relation to that, moving on to our second question, all of you have touched upon what we need from the ecosystem, what we need, how we need to collaborate and work across sectors and not just in siloed efforts. And so the second question is about systems level solutions to fight climate change. So given the state of the environment today, we just saw the recent intergovernmental panel on climate change report. There's a lot of irreversible damage to the environment. There's the issuance of the Code Red for Humanity by the UN. So there's it's all hands on deck kind of situation here. And so I wanted to ask our speakers today how you think that governments, educators, private sector, civil society organizations can really work together in a organized, coordinated way. Maybe it's on a local level or national level to really advance intersectional solutions, because we need transformational, really innovative solutions to deal with the environment today. Do you think that there are certain bottlenecks in the way, what's been working, and what have you been able to do in your own work? Like what kind of partnerships or collaborations have you entered into to advance your work? Sunita, yeah, please.
Shall I start again? So I'm going to answer this question through my own experience. So as I mentioned, climate change has increased the risk of flood hazards globally, and communities prone to flooding events face potential consequences ranging from damage to property to loss of human lives. And for the community, whether it's village, towns, or city, the effectiveness of operational measures implemented before and after flooding event depends largely on the information available to the flood control authorities. And early warning system together with the functioning system of operational measures can significantly reduce material damage and life losses. On the contrary, in the absence of a flood warning network, the community faces large risks. And while it is pretty difficult to implement a national flood warning network, implementation of local decentralized flood warning network is in high-risk areas is relatively easy. So we came up with the idea of a local early warning system based on independent low-cost monitoring devices such as rain gouging station and water level gouging stations located in flood-prone communities, areas. And they can provide critical and timely information to the local inhabitants on the occurrence of flash floods. So we wanted to implement such local early flash warning systems in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but we were lacking of funds. And we have noticed a call from UNDP Czech partnerships for the project proposals, and we have noticed that our idea fits the requirement and figured out that this could be a good opportunity to implement our idea. Yes, then we have contacted water agencies here in Bosnia and Herzegovina that are responsible for river basin management and flood management, and explained them the idea. and asked them if they could suggest any flood-prone area where we could implement our pilot project. And they gave us the information that they have problem in the Rečina River Basin, where sometimes water level rises in a couple of hours, which leads to floods. We have also contacted the colleague from Czech Republic, who is very active in domain of flood warning and flood protection in Czech Republic, and who also happen to know the water level station and rain gouging station producer in Czech Republic. We have also contacted the local community in River Rečina Basin to see if they are willing to participate in the project, and of course they have accepted. So we wrote our project proposal, and we got the funds to implement the project. Probably you remember, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, Rečina River is located in the Kars region, and riverbed is completely dry during the summer. And Kars area has lots of those underground reservoirs, which means that sometimes it can be raining for days, and then there won't be any floods. And then sometimes when those underground reservoirs are full, if it rains only for a couple of hours, flood can occur very fast. So we have installed rain gouging station and water level station upstream. The system triggers the warning if the water level exceeds certain level, and sends the SMS warning to the mayor of the municipality, head of civil protection, and firefighters, so that they can organize evacuation in time. And we have also made a web-based dashboard that enables the community and whoever wants to see to visualize flood information round the clock. So through this project, we were able to connect private sector, local and international, government, local communities and its inhabitants, and like we were able to help each other, because government needed a solution for the problem that they have. We as private sector, we had solution, but we were lacking of funds. The UNDP were willing to give us the fund for the solution. So yeah, we were able to help each other. And I hope through this example, someone else will be able to implement their ideas as well. So yeah, just don't give up.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. I mean, a really great example of really true cross-sector collaboration with UNDP, governments on the local, international level, with your community. Really fantastic. Thank you. We throw it back to our other speakers to weigh in.
Okay, so maybe I can just add like how it was in our case to look for the money for the technology, and in which kind of institutions we were looking for the budget. Of course, we started and we didn't have money at all. We were like 3 people, me and my 2 colleagues, wanted to have all the knowledge to start the project, but we decided to go for the European funding, European funds. And the European funding you can access also as a private company. You don't have to be in institutions or to work in the institutions. There are different kind of programs for universities, but also for the private companies working in technology as well. However, when we start to apply for the funding from European Union, the first project like we wrote, of course, it was like denied and we didn't get any success. And we were kind of upset. Why? Because we have a great technology and it's like a track record and how to efficiently like use the funds. So then, and this is kind of a tip for the people who are like doing the startups and like for the first time they are going for the funding. We took a company that was like kind of already experienced in writing the proposals, because they knew how it should be like well structured, and this was very helpful. So for the people who are looking for extra funding for technology using European Union, and you do it for the first time and you don't know how to do it, to save your time and money, please like take some help. There is a lot of companies on the market helping to prepare the proposal, and it like increase your chances to get the money a lot, because everything is in order, and you have this extra points for like you don't miss any formal thing. So it's good advice. And for European funding, you can go directly to European Union. You don't have to go to your government. You can go directly to European Union, but also you can go to your government, because European Union is giving the money to, at least in European Union, because we are in the European Union. So this is, I'm speaking for myself, but then we went directly to you, but also we go to the government, and the government have the money from European Union, and we also like write the proposals, and they got accepted. So we had a support from European funds. This is the public funds, so it's very difficult to do the administration work for public funds. And another tip, like if you do the technology, hire someone just for the administration stuff and work, and don't do it yourself. Like don't spend time and your brain and your like knowledge and absolutely for doing the administrative work, which using European funds, it's huge. For it's really like immediately look for some accountant or someone who have experience with European funds and financing, or because you have to like check every euro. You have to like show how you spend, and you have to do it in a proper way. And you cannot just do it yourself if you are a scientist or technician, or it's just it have no sense. And so there is money in European Union. You have to like it's good to have help to know how to get them, but also it's not only option. There is also a lot of rich people and philanthropists and people who have the money and they're willing to like invest in your technology. But the question is how to reach these people, right? Where are they? How to connect with them? So in our case, we used a lot of media, and we were doing like we had a project, and we went to TV show. We put on the social media, we send our nice pictures, descriptions, and everything to newspapers. And of course, at the beginning, because I'm a scientist, and when I was kind of in like TV show and talking about solar cells in a really simple language, there was a lot of criticism from my colleagues. I was in shock, like how can you use this word? It's not correct. Blah blah blah. But despite all this criticism, in the end, it was really good to go and to show, and in simple way to explain, and with a nice pictures what we want to do. Because it happens that on the other side there was a guy who was watching the TV, so he got interested, and he knew our investor, and our investor was from Japan, and he was investing in a different sector. But on the other hand, he was a philanthropist, so he invested in a solar cell, he invested in the food plantations, and this is how we get in touch, and this is how we get the first like private investment. So we have this private sector collaboration, European funding as well. And the good thing in European funding is that you can build a consortia. You can invite, even as a private company or institution, you can invite other institutions from different countries. And this is how you build your network for the future, how you meet people, how you meet with other technologies, and how you build the whole community. And the network of people working in the sector towards, climate change or say things. But the money are there. It's good to make the project visible and just get some professional help if you want to write the proposal, and once you get the proposal, all this administration stuff, that is good to have this kind of people look at the market, where are they, and to have them close.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olga. Those are really good practical tips, actually, on how to navigate the ecosystem, because you do need those partnerships with the investors and philanthropists, and ways to, submit proposals and applications for these really lengthy criteria. So it sounds like there's some hurdles, but that there is money out there, and it's just a way to navigate the ecosystem. Thank you. Vera or Virtue? Thank you.
Maybe I would share with the quite very simple example of how we have built a very efficient collaboration with the government and corporate sector here in Kazakhstan. And I think there, firstly, the way that we did is the best approach is that you should be respect to the priorities of your partner organization, and the best way is to find where are those overlaps of your joint priorities and go together for the joint activities. So the both sides are benefit from this like a project or maybe specific initiative. That's what we trying to do together with the government. For example, we do have a large-scale step restoration initiative. It's already 17 years old, and we work together with the government. We are as a national organization, and they're supported by international organization. We do collaborative work on their joint priorities, like the which is very aligned with their government national strategies, as well with the own strategies of organization home pantering this. But I think from our approach, FUSA, as we develop this organization, we found that the best approach is being professional. So only you can do is provide proven and qualified data. So on the same time, you have to be very transparent about the results of what you have done, to be open, and we really realize, like, even we develop very much and we become to be opposite of many national initiatives here in Kazakhstan, but we are really welcome with the data, even within this opposite recommendation, because data is proven, is qualified, is really welcomed. And I think this is the case which we found is the best way to build efficient relationship. So provide this qualified, proven data and professional skills and expertise that you can do.
That's really good in terms of data-driven solutions, and that what I'm hearing is that if you have that, that will help to unlock your opportunities working with different partners in the ecosystem. Is that right? Yeah. Thank you. Virtue, please.
Actually, in our company in BPREC, we are developing materials. So every industry or every potential applicator has different requests or different projects in their mind. So besides governmental or European fundings, actually we focused on what our potential customer needs or what they are looking for, how their let's say requirements change within time, or where we can make a solution for them, how we can have a kind of overlap with our supports and their needs. So what I can tell is we spent most of our time trying to understand, trying to reach each potential customers individually and making video calls or meetings and trying to understand how we can convert our material solution to support their needs or to support their application areas. So each case is a different case in our in our industry. Actually, it is sometimes very difficult to find individual solutions, but as exciting as it is, because every time you are coping with different issues, and every time you learn something more, and then you can just adapt these new learnings to another, let's say, customer or another issue. So we think that every day we are just growing and bigger in knowledge. So but I totally agree with what Olga says about how to find fundings, and about do not deal with administrative issues while trying to produce or trying to, let's say, making something innovative. It is a kind of waste of time. You're right.
Yeah, thanks. That's a really good tip. And then maybe there's a suggestion for government or other funders to maybe ease their application process. Maybe sometimes it's a time sink for sure, and really abrupts efficiency. But if you have the funds to be able to hire somebody to take care of the admin stuff, that's all the better. So thank you all for those really insightful questions. And now we're going to move on to the last question, and hopefully, and again, please, participants in this event, if you have any questions that you'd like to share, please put them in the chat, or we'll open the floor at the end for you to come off video and ask your questions. But this last one's a very practical question for those maybe in the audience that are interested in working in STEM and possibly in climate change and sustainability. I'm going to ask each of the speakers to give some practical advice to people who want to pursue STEM career pathways. Maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you're in high school and you want to pursue it in university, or maybe you're already in a career and you want to be able to advance. So wanted to go around and ask some tips. Maybe you can share your own pathway, like what helped you along the way, maybe role models, or how did you go about looking for jobs, or knowing that this is what you wanted to do. Yeah.
Shall I go again first?
Yeah, sure. We're going in a natural pattern here, so this is great. Go ahead.
Okay, so my advice would be, don't ever give up. If you want something, go for it. I'm gonna share a personal story of my mom. For example, my mom didn't have a chance to get a proper education due to some cultural and society norms at that time. And she has been going to school for only those first 4 grades of elementary school. And during the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we have lost everything. Like, our house was burned to the ground, so we didn't have even clothes to wear, because we've been thinking that after we left the house that it's only temporary, and that we will be able to return soon. And since we've been struggling financially, my mom, after the war, she wanted to help my father financially. And my father and my mom have figured out that in my hometown, there are factories that are in need of, I don't know, I'm not sure in English, it's kind of engine repairment, like motor wire winding. Anyway, there was a need for that, but in Konjic there were not enough staff who were able to do that. So my mom have found a mentor who was able to help her learn that. And she has started the company, and now she's the only one in my hometown and even in the areas around who is able to do that. And I think that she's only female in Bosnia and possibly in the region as well who does what she does, because usually men were doing that before. Anyway, through her work, she has made it possible for my 2 sisters and I to study whatever we want and to get education, whatever education we want. I have chosen civil engineering, and before I graduated, I wanted to start working to get practical experience as well. And I don't know how is the situation in other countries, but in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's a little bit hard to get employment even with a degree, and especially without degree. So I was sending CVs and motivational letters to engineering companies and consulting companies around Sarajevo. And one of them has invited me for the interview. At that time, they've been working on a water source protection project of the main water source that is supplying capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Sarajevo, with drinking water. And I have expressed my interest in working on that project, and probably my enthusiasm and my eagerness have convinced the director and the project manager at that time to give me a chance to work with them. And I got the assignment to help build ArcGIS database for the project. At that time, I didn't even know that such program existed. One of my colleagues has explained me some bases, and I also took some course to help me figure it out. And I've been working day and night to figure it out with lots of trials and errors. But in the end, I was able to figure it out and to deliver my share of project successfully. After that, I've got permanent contract with that firm, even without a degree. Along the way, while working, I have managed to get my faculty degree and my master's degree. I don't know, lots of people think that maybe engineering is a male work. I wouldn't agree with that. I've also read somewhere that only 28% of women work in STEM area. I think that there is a need for promotion of women and their capabilities to show the society that women are capable to do any work or find any solution to any challenge they face. And I hope my story will inspire someone to chase their dream and not to give up.
No, absolutely inspirational for sure. And it sounds like you had a lot of role models in your life and a lot of persistence. So that's some really important characteristics to have, I think. Thanks for sharing your story. Shall we go to Olga next then?
Okay, so maybe I will just split it. If you are before study, if you are studying, and if you are after study, like how can you maybe increase your chances to get into to have a good job or work in high tech based on my experience. So before the study, I think it's important to find the institution or the institute or the university who have the teachers that are experts in the field, active experts in the field. There is a lot of choice right now. It's the best university in a town. Sometimes it's not the best choice because you have to look for the teachers. Sometimes it's even better to pay for the study and even to work at nights. I was working at night. I was really working from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. To pay for my studies, but I'm very happy because before I was in the public school, in Poland is for free. And then I went to Spain and I had to pay for the studies. And it was very different level. And I learned a lot in this private institution, although it was hard because yes, you had to pay. Sometimes it's better to pay and invest because then the teachers are well paid. They sacrifice you some time, and if they are active in the field, if they are publishing, if they are going to conferences, they will also be a good start for you if you study to go for the conferences and start to meet with people from science, but also from industry as well. So before study, choose wisely, your promoter, your expertise, your field, and the place where you are going to do that. And of course, if you are studying already in the public school or university, like have a look around for all exchange programs, because I started on the public university. Okay, I was not very happy from the level of the teaching. So I was looking around and I went for an Erasmus program. And it was the best thing that I could do in my life, to go out of Poland to other countries during this 1 year and to learn some things and come back. And it's really, I don't know like how it's in the different countries, but I think in every country there is some kind of exchange programs, and it's always beneficial to go for these programs. Like if you have this kind of a program, go for it. There's nothing you can lose going for exchange. Even if you don't know the language, go. You will learn the language. Don't be afraid. You can always come back, right? And the last thing, like after you finish the study or you are starting your career, okay, in my case, I was desperate for the money, so I had to look for the jobs, and I was sending my CV, so my curriculum, everywhere. And even I was sending this on the position that I was not enough experienced, but at least I was showing people that I want to work in some places. And this is a real story that I was about to leave even Spain because I was running out of money and I couldn't pay my studies. And I went for the last exam. And my teacher, when we finished the exam, asked me, Olga, are you still looking for the job? And I was kind of surprised, like how he know I'm looking for the job, because I sent my curriculum to the position to be a director of laboratory with my 2-month experience as a IT help desk. And it was funny, like they of course didn't accept, but they remembered me. So when he saw me in the class, he asked me if I still need look for the job. He said, like really seriously, like we cannot give you this director position because you have no experience, but we have a place for technician, like a simple technician. And I was like, wow! And it was my first job related to the to really what I'm allowed to do. So I think. Just don't be afraid to send your your profile to all the institutions you would like to work, even in the future, I think. And also don't be afraid to ask. Another like real story from my life, when we started a company and a startup, and we had to go for the European funding, and we need to build a consortium. So consortium means that you invite like universities or big companies to be like in a group together, and as a group you go and you apply for the funds. And I have my 2 colleagues, and they asked me, Olga, you were studying, so maybe send to this university an invitation or that university. And I, at the beginning, my reaction was, are you crazy? Like, I don't even have a PhD, because I was still finishing my PhD. We just found a startup, so we are not a famous institution, we don't have a brand, any name. So how do you imagine that I invite, for example, EPFL, the university in Lausanne, how they are going to join? I knew some people there, like we were going for conferences, but it's too much. And they told me, like, don't think, Olga, just ask them. And I asked, and everyone like agreed. And we have a really strong consortium then I realized that how many times I missed my chances just not asking, because I was thinking in my head that, okay, even if they like say no, like I have nothing to lose. So it's like really good to even sometimes for fun, if you just have to like do it, like do it. The worst can happen is just no reply. But imagine if they reply, like how much you can elevate immediately. So it's just like few examples from my life. And I also wish you all like a lot of luck. Luck is also important, but just help your luck and, push your profile, your company, or your education and ask questions, and don't worry. Don't worry, you're not enough. You are.
Thank you, Olga, for that. I'm really appreciative of you sharing your stories and your tips. Very comprehensive from student to career, mid-career. So that's great. And yes, definitely fear can sometimes get in the way, and you're a great role model and just pushing through that. So thank you.
Tiffany, can I jump up because the Olga's experience and very much, very much close to mine, definitely, and I very agree that. So you cannot be satisfied that you are a degree from university. No way. Like, it doesn't matter even what faculty you're studying. You need to look in for these opportunities, additional ones. And what I also try to do, like being part of the different survey. So I usually pass my exam early, then it's normal schedule, and I always went to the field trying different kind of things, because I studied ecology and I was not sure what the direction I wanted to go, and I tried even hydrobiology, ornithology, and different kind of things. And also I used to work a lot on the another, like a waiters or in the shop on promoting something. And I'm really thanks to myself that I did it, because it was not only useful from that I raised some money additionally for myself, but it also gave a really good life experience. It even doesn't matter that it's linked to your professional, but it really gave you experience. Learn English. I think I'm succeed a lot because I started to learn English very in time when I was a student. And I think the students is the really great time. And I really realized how much time I had. Like, when you already have a family, it's really difficult for the woman to have a time. Like my daughter, she's 4, and since she was born, I didn't took any workshops and training at all. I have only time for the family and my work, that's all. But when you're a student, before you engage with the family, you have a lot of possibilities to study and to engage, and it's really important. Don't look only at your universities. And also, I think, don't be scared about any competition. Like here in Kazakhstan, like I'm sure that's many, as a Kazakhstan development countries, we have the most biggest challenge for us is the professional experts. And this is the biggest challenge for our organization, for the country. And we really need a good qualified people. And if you are professional, you will always find a very good position and job for you. I think it's like a no doubt of this. And so I think this is the case. And like, I think this is advice not only for the girls but for the boys as well. Like, even we organization, and we have so many women working for us, but we still not like really like a gender focus, but more like a merit focus. And for us, it's really important that person is qualified, motivated. This is the case. Yeah,
That's great. Thank you for sharing, Vera. Okay.
I guess I will be the one who closes this session, but what I can say is just get on the way, I guess, and you won't imagine how brilliant or how encouraging people you will get know. So I just can say, do not afraid to do something different than your friends or your environment, let's say your family or anything else. And if you believe in yourself, if you believe in your dreams, just get on the way. You may fail, maybe your dreams won't come true, but it's for sure that you will have another way that you didn't even imagine, and maybe you will be more happier with the second way. You never know. So just go away, just go get your dreams. And I don't know how to say it, but don't wait too much in the same place. Don't waste your time. Just be in a moment. So I believe everything will just come across to your side if you just go on.
Absolutely. Yeah, the moral of that story is to just do it, right? And like not let fear get in the way, even though there are social stereotypes and gender norms that we face. But you all are great role models in terms of smashing those stereotypes and challenging them. So really great advice from all four of you. And now we have about 9 minutes or so to open the floor. Since there's a good amount of people on the in this event, I mean, feel free to turn your video camera on, come off the mic and ask for question directly.
Yeah, Tiffany, we have a question from Gulaim from Turkmenistan, I think, and
Okay.
Yeah, we're welcome to hear from her.
Hello, I wrote the question in the chat box, but I can also verbally say it out. I sent a link to the presentation by Greg Braden. It's an American scientist working in different levels, and one of his topics is renewables. And at the end of the presentation, he says that perhaps solar power and windmills, they are not the solution for our next generation, because this technology has been invented 25 years ago. And when they were inventing solar power, nobody really thought how they're going to utilize it, what's going to happen after they break down. So he writes, it's a big problem in Europe right now. So, and at the end of the presentation, he offers a solution, what kind of renewables we should look into. I'm not a scientist, but I'm calling upon women scientists to look into this issue. And of course, if we can make solar power, panels with the better materials, which will be environmentally clean, it will be a very good solution. And Olga, if there is something new you come up with in Turkmenistan, we have a lot of sun, so we can try your technology in my country. Thank you.
Okay, so I feel like I want to reply for this question. It's true, and I think it's a really good point about the traditional solar, that right now there is a lot of solar, and there are the ways how to utilize it, but it's not that easy. There's a lot of trash in the new upcoming. So one thing is, but I wouldn't say that the solar is not the future, because maybe there are other solar technologies that are right now being commercialized or new are coming, when you will be able to make a solar panel that the utilization of this panel will be very easy, or even like very ecological solution. Just to give you an example, okay, this panel is made of plastic, so it's still not perfect. Maybe it's better to like utilize then the traditional big silicon panel. It's just a piece of plastic, but we are part of the project when we want to print not on plastic, but on cellulose, and the materials that are also like environmental friendly. So we can have a solar panel like you can.
We may have lost Olga. Let's see if she'll come back.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So okay, so just to, because we don't have much time, this person, this scientist, okay, it was right, we have a problem with a traditional solar panel, but I wouldn't say this is, there's no future for solar panel at all. So we just have to make a new solar panels, new kind of solar panels that could be better used after life. And that's my comment.
Thank you, Olga. Umatai, were there any other questions?
No, we don't have any other questions. But
did you have something
anyway,
to add, Umatai?
If anybody wants to raise her hand or his hand to ask now, we do have like 4 minutes, I guess, left. But otherwise, yeah, I guess I mean, if anybody wants to say something in the end, that would be
Great.
good. Otherwise, happy International Women's Day, and thank you for very very inspiring stories. It was very interesting, I would say informal gathering, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you have access to these 4 amazing women experts. Now's your chance. Ask some questions, or maybe they might, we'll have the recording also on our STEM for All website. Anybody? No? Okay. Well, that's great. So we're ending on time, which is awesome. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming, especially to Virtue and Olga and Vera and Sunita for taking time out of their very busy schedules to join us here at UNDP and to share their stories with you. Really fascinating stories. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel much better about where we're heading, knowing that there are women like these 4 out there leading climate action in the region. I think Ava, my colleague Ava, had a few things to say.
Yeah. Hello. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm really, honored to listen to all of these stories. And I would like to say, that if you look on our region, despite all the significant development progress, many countries and local communities face considerable poverty levels, economic and social inequalities, and gender discrimination. And the progress has been significantly jeopardized by COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing armed conflicts. And we are trying still to support crucial reforms and innovation and knowledge sharing, and we are always trying to put, mainstream, gender equality in our projects. And UNDP Istanbul Regional Hub is implementing Challenge Fund modalities from 2018. This is a special tool which helps to solicit innovative ideas and address development challenges which cannot be achieved through the traditional methods. And all of this work won't be possible without the support of the donors. And I would like to today express the gratitude for cooperation with Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Poland as the donor behind the Polish Challenge Fund, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Czech Republic as the donor behind the Czech Challenge Fund, and Ministry of Finance of Slovakia as the donor behind the Boost Challenge, because without them, we won't be able to promote innovation in our region, and also invite Olga and Sanita among our amazing speakers today, and among the innovators of the Polish Challenge Fund, Czech Challenge Fund, and the Boost Challenge. And actually, without this support, we won't be able to show that women are an inevitable part of the progress in our society. So thanks all for working on this, and happy International Women's Day 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Ava, for sharing. Ava's with our partnerships team at Istanbul Regional Hub. Yes, and Ricard is sharing in the chat that there is currently a call open for innovations by women-led organizations, our Boost Challenge.
No, well, we do. Yeah, we have currently Boost open, and actually the deadline has been extended.
Yep.
So please check Facebook and social media where you can find the links and apply.
Yes.
And stay in touch, because more calls are definitely coming.
There'll be a
Thank
lot
you.
more. Yeah, thank you, Rick, for sharing that. It's in the chat. Yeah, I think that's all I have. We wanted to thank everybody. I don't know if anyone has anything else to share, but please go to the STEM for All website. I have the link ready to post, but I'm sure everyone here has stories to share. We're always wanting to give visibility and amplify people's STEM journeys. So there's a link on our website where you can submit your story directly, and we will share that on the website. So yep, thank you everybody. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you again to all our amazing speakers, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your days. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.